Hello friends, welcome to the weekend after Easter. Maybe it's your official break from all the festivities and shenanigans. Well, if it is, then grab a hot cup of Milo or cold, I'm not judging, and drop a shot of scotch in it, and let's jump into this week's episode. Welcome to the Dirt Report, tech and telco news from all around Australia and some international tidbits. In today's video, we have Vodafone hit by a nationwide outage, Telstra punished, and Vocus building Starlink. Then on the international side, we have Twitch to finally start banning users for things they do outside of Twitch. Facebook proved once and for all they do not give a flying at a rolling donut about user data. And lastly, the platform itself, YouTube, and their naughty video statistics. Smash the like button if you add whiskey to your Milo in the morning, and if you don't, then make sure to smash the subscribe button. We'll get a bit of a vote going there. Thanks for jumping in. Let's roll the intro. Let's start with the biggest news. Though it came and went, Vodafail stayed. From memory, there has been a few times in the last decade that I can remember Vodafone having some trouble, though nationwide outages are fairly rare. Telstra, Optus and others have had their day in the spotlight, but this Friday it was Vodafone's turn, and a very clear example why most cloud providers like AWS have in their contracts a 99.97% uptime. The problem started between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, peaking at 11 a.m. where all the 4G services went down and the complaints started rolling in. This means that many of the users dropped onto the 3G sphere, and that connection seemed to be overwhelmed. The problem is that 3G services have been slowly reduced to accommodate for 4G and 5G. After all, it's an old technology and it doesn't get much traffic at the moment, until there's an outage of the one above. During the outage, however, the 3G network was unable to accommodate the slew of mobile devices wanting to connect, and it too either went down, crawled to a stop, or was just barely functioning. Calls and SMS were disrupted significantly. I was not able to receive calls, but I was able to make calls, though those calls either dropped out during the actual dial or during the call. It was an absolute mayhem for those who depended on their mobile device for work. I certainly felt the pain. Vodafone confirmed the outage via the way most people get their news, 830-letter character at a time. On Twitter, of course. Here is what a Vodafone spokesperson said. Data services may be falling back to 3G intermittently, causing congestion and slower speeds for customers. Following that, Vodafone announced they have identified the issue and will be fixing the issue as soon as possible. I awoke Saturday morning to find all was back to the way it ought to be. Let me know what pain this outage caused for you. And remember, you have full entitlements under the ACCC. You may request monetary relief if you can prove a loss, though arguably it wasn't a significantly long enough time for that. But you can also request a cancel of your contract without further costs. You may need to return your handset, however. Check what you can do on the ACCC website. Let's move on. If you remember, a little while back we talked about the abhorrent behavior Telstra took towards signing up Aboriginal customers to plans they could not afford based on their current situation. After the $50 million fine, Telstra has received another bout of just desserts against their actions. I only just found out myself. It seemed that it wasn't published across most mainstream media, and it took a bit of digging to find. So at the end of March, exactly 30th, it was announced that Telstra has been stripped of the Elevate status in the Reconciliation Action Plan. Now, the Reconciliation Australia made the statement at the end of March. Here is a quick summary as to what they said. Also links below for the full statement. In November 2020, Reconciliation Australia initiated an investigation of Telstra's Elevate Reconciliation Action Plan. The investigation was in light of Telstra's admission of unconscionable business practices in relation to 108 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander customers by 5 licensed outlets and proposed settlements with the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, the ACCC. The business practices uncovered through the ACCC investigations are deeply troubling. In addition to our specified concerns about unconscionable business practices, we express disappointment at Telstra's failure to engage appropriately or effectively with Reconciliation Australia throughout the course of the ACCC investigation. At no time did Telstra alert us of the complaints covered by the ACCC's investigations. Our investigation concluded that Telstra has not met its own aspirations to be a leader in the reconciliation movement, nor the expectations of an Elevate RAP partner. As a consequence of our investigation, Reconciliation Australia has revoked Telstra's Elevate Reconciliation Action plan. Andrew took to his investor communication platform, LinkedIn, to reply. Links below, of course. In summary, he talked about how right it was for the RA to take this action and that Telstra will do better. How many times have we heard that before? Now, as pointed out by a LinkedIn member in a comment below the post, they said, "Hi Andrew, listen to the whole 2 minutes, but don't see timeframes with actions." You see, Andy Penn gave no clear timelines for his so-called action plans, and people picked up on that. For some context, I have also linked below the undertaking of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission on the Telstra fiasco for you to read at your own leisure. Let me know your thoughts below. Let's move on. Vocus got a win, and that's great. The ASX-listed company just got the green light to build a satellite Earth station in New Zealand, and the location is, of course, absolutely top secret. In fact, it's the free-range egg farm in Poeira, south of the Northland city of Whangarei. Who would ever go looking for a satellite farm on an egg farm? Shh, don't tell anyone. They will be building 9 dishes in total for Starlink, with sizes ranging from 1.47 meters in diameter and 2.7 meters tall. These satellites will be serving the LEO Starlink satellites for the region. I'm always excited to hear about international investments into ANZ companies, and I look forward to seeing how Starlink progresses. In fact, many of you may have received an email in the last few days from Starlink letting you know you are damn close to getting connected. Let me know below if you have already received your dish and started using it. I believe it's only New South Wales and the ACT at this stage. Oh, would you look at the clock? I don't know, I don't have a clock in this room. It's international news time. Make sure to like this video if you did. It really helps in the fight against Google's algorithm. And of course, if you want to support us in the long term, you can tap subscribe. We're going to run through these disasters pretty quickly, so buckle up, buckaroos. Twitch has been riding the line of corporate justice for far too long. While they still judge their creators based on their gender, Twitch has announced in a blog post this week they will ban users for many new offenses that they should have been banning already. However, this will now include events that happen off-platform by creators, including hate group membership and credible threats of mass violence, all in a bid to contain substantial risk for the wider community. Here is what the blog post said, and of course it is linked below because it's got a few more bits and pieces of what you can and cannot do on Twitch. Here's what they said. Today we're shifting focus and talking about how we plan to address severe misconduct that impacts the Twitch community but happens off Twitch. Additionally, we've created a dedicated email address where anyone can report egregious off-service misconduct in the categories above committed by a member of the Twitch community. Watch out, there's going to be a lot more eyes out there with their cameras trying to catch Twitch creators doing the wrong thing. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's right? Let me know below. Next up, Facebook, or better known as the white pages. Facebook let more than 500 million users' data escape into the World Wide Web, and guess what? It's your fault. Facebook decided to blame its users on the way they added their data and set their settings, but that's okay. Not like anyone is leaving Facebook anytime soon. And finally, YouTube, who is another platform that tends to get flack for its content and user management. This time around, YouTube's being quite open about their numbers. Out of every 1 billion views annually on YouTube, there are only 1.6 million views that view a video that violates its content policies. Not a bad number, I guess. YouTube said that the number is about the same as last year, but you also have to take into account that every day there is a billion hours worth of YouTube content watched. And let's say about half of that counts for views, 500 million, so every 2 days, 1.6 million views are kind of dodgy. That starts to look a little bit bad. So some quick math, you get the point. And on that shocking number, that means nothing to us. Let's end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure to like this video if you did, and subscribe to support us and see more. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in another one. Bye!